Hello, dear learners, and welcome back to English Flow. I'm Kim, and I'm really glad you're here. Today's episode is one that a lot of learners have been waiting for, because this is a situation that makes even advanced English speakers nervous. Speaking on the phone. When you're face-to-face with someone, you can use body language, facial expressions, and context to help you understand. But on the phone, you only have your words and your ears. No visual clues. No second chances to lip read. Just the voice on the other end of the line. So today, we're going to go through everything, from making a call to ending one, from bad connections to taking messages, from casual chats with friends to professional business calls. Step by step, with clear examples for every situation. Let's get into it. Let's start with the very basics, the vocabulary around making and receiving a call. To dial means to enter a phone number to call someone. For example, I dialed her number, but nobody picked up. The word phone can be used as both a noun and a verb. Can I use your phone is the noun. I'll phone you later is the verb. And phone means exactly the same as ring, call, and give someone a ring. So I'll call you later, I'll ring you later, and I'll give you a ring later all mean exactly the same thing. Use whichever feels natural. When someone calls you, you pick up the phone, meaning you answer it. For example, she called 3 times, but I didn't pick up. The opposite of picking up is hanging up. To hang up means to end the call. He just hung up without saying goodbye. And if you need to call someone back, meaning to return their call, you say, I'll call you back. For example, sorry I missed your call. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Now, sometimes when you call someone, the person who picks up is not the person you need. In that case, they might transfer your call to someone else. This is called putting you through. For example, a receptionist might say, I'll put you through to the manager now. And then you wait while the call is transferred. Now let's talk about what to actually say when someone picks up the phone. When you're the caller and someone picks up, the most natural thing to say is, could I speak to Kim, please? Or, could I speak with Kim, please? Both are correct. With is more common in American English. To is more common in British English. Both are perfectly fine. When you introduce yourself over the phone, don't say, I am Kim. That sounds unnatural on the phone. Instead, say, this is Kim, or Kim speaking, or simply, it's Kim. For example, hi, this is Kim calling from English Flow. Hello, Kim speaking. Hey, it's Kim. Now here's something very useful. If someone calls and asks for you, and you are that person, you don't need to say your name again. You simply say speaking. For example, could I speak to David, please? Speaking. This means I am David. You've reached the right person. You can also say, this is David, or this is David speaking. In American English, you might also hear, this is he, if the caller asked for a man, or this is she, if they asked for a woman. These are a little more formal, but you'll hear them. When you call someone, it's very polite to check if they have time to talk. Don't just launch into your reason for calling. First ask, is this a good time to talk? Have you got 10 minutes to chat? I hope I'm not calling at a bad time. This shows respect for the other person's time, and native speakers do this constantly. Now, what happens when the person you're calling isn't available? The person who answered might say, I'm afraid she's not in at the moment. Or, I'm sorry, he's not available right now. Then they might offer, can I take a message? Meaning, would you like me to write down something and pass it on to that person? To pass on a message means to give someone else's message to the right person. For example, could you pass on a message to David? Please tell him Kim called. And if you want to leave a message, you say, yes, could I leave a message, please? But if you don't want to leave a message, you can simply say, that's okay, I'll call again later. Or you can ask, could you tell him to call me back? Or could you tell her that Kim called? Now let's talk about some very common phone situations and how to handle them. Asking who is calling. When you pick up the phone and don't know who it is, you can ask, who's calling, please? This is formal and polite. Who's this? This is casual and American. Who's that? This is casual and British. Who am I speaking to? Polite and neutral works in most situations. Asking someone to wait. Sometimes you need a moment before you can talk. You say, just a moment, please. Hold on a moment. Hang on. This is casual. In a business situation, it's more formal. May I put you on hold? Or please hold the line. Dialing a wrong number. It happens to everyone. If you realize you've called the wrong number, you say, I'm sorry, I think I've got the wrong number. And if someone calls you by mistake, you say, I'm sorry, I think you've got the wrong number. Now let's talk about bad connections, because this is one of the most stressful phone situations, especially in a second language. If the other person's voice is breaking up, you might say, you're breaking up, or you're cutting out. Both mean the same thing. The call quality is poor, and their voice keeps disappearing. You can then ask them to repeat themselves. What was that? Or could you repeat that, please? Or, sorry, the line cut out. Could you say that again? If you simply can't hear them well, you say, sorry, the connection is really bad. I can't hear you. Or, I can hardly hear you. Hardly means almost not at all. To check if they're still there, hello, are you there? If the call drops completely, meaning it gets disconnected in the middle of your conversation, and you call back, you explain, sorry, I got cut off. And from your side, if you lose the connection, you'd say to someone else, I lost her, or I lost him, meaning the call dropped. If your battery is low and you think the call might drop soon, warn the other person. Hey, my phone is going to die, or my phone is going dead, or my phone is going to go dead. This way they know what might happen and aren't confused if the call suddenly ends. When the line is busy, meaning the person you're calling is already talking to someone else, you'll hear a busy tone. You might then send a message saying, I tried to call you, but I couldn't get through. Couldn't get through means the call didn't connect. If you didn't understand something the other person said, there are polite ways to ask them to repeat it. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Didn't catch means didn't hear or understand. You can add, did you say Monday or Sunday? Repeating what you thought you heard is very helpful. If you need them to spell something out, could you spell that for me? And on the phone, people often use the alphabet with words to make letters clearer. For example, B as in boy, D as in doll, S as in Sam. This is called a spelling alphabet, and it's very useful when exchanging names, emails, or addresses. If you need to speak louder, you ask, could you speak up, please? To speak up means to speak more loudly. And when someone returns your call, you say, thanks for getting back to me. Getting back to me means returning my call. Now, how should you answer the phone? This depends on the situation. In a casual situation, a friend or family member calling, you can simply say hello or hey, or just your name, Kim speaking. Very natural and relaxed. In a business or professional situation, answering on behalf of a company or in a formal context, you should be more structured. For example, good morning, English flow, Kim speaking. How can I help you? This gives your greeting, the company name, your name, and an offer to help, all in one sentence, clean and professional. Let's now hear two full phone conversations. Casual call between friends. Hey Kim, it's Sarah. Is this a good time? Yeah, totally. What's up? Not much. Hey, are you coming on Saturday? Oh, hang on, my phone's gonna die. Can I call you back in 5? Sure, no problem. Great, talk to you in a bit. Business call. Good morning, English Flow. Kim speaking. How can I help you? Good morning. This is David Brown calling. Could I speak to the manager, please? I'm afraid she's not available at the moment. Can I take a message? Yes, please. Could you tell her that David Brown called and ask her to call me back? Of course. Could you spell your last name for me? Sure. B for boy, R for rabbit, O for orange, W for water, N for night. Brown. Perfect. I'll pass that on. Is there a good number to reach you on? Yes, she has my number. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Have a great day. You too. Goodbye. Here's your homework. Think of one casual phone call and one professional one that you might need to have in real life. Write them out, just like the examples above. Use the phrases from today. Say them out loud. Record yourself if you can. That is how this becomes yours. I'm Kim. Thank you so much for being here today. If you found this episode useful, please like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to English Flow. It helps us reach more learners around the world and keeps this podcast going. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and keep flowing.